210-571-0318.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, the Spurs, they did something at the deadline at least. While a lot of moves happened, the Spurs were a part of that action as they sent Doug McDermott to the Indiana Pacers in exchange for Marcus Morris and a future second-round pick. McDermott originally played for the Pacers before signing with San Antonio, and Jeremy Sohan is going to play as an injury replacement in the Rising Stars Challenge along with Victor Wembanyama.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
What's up, Danger? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me this evening. Right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. However you're listening, whether it's sasportstar.com, live on the radio, or via our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Be a part of the show. If you want, call in 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. I'll get to calls where I can. A lot going on today out on Media Row for the big game. Of course, Best Bail Bonds powers our big game coverage. It is brought to you in part as well by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. A lot to get into from what happened on Media Row today, as I've got interviews that I will play back for you from earlier today that I thought were very, very telling. Mark Schlereth was extremely good on the Blitz earlier this afternoon, talking about the state of offensive line play callers, how they can affect it. I thought Mark Schlereth was awesome. Warren Sapp was just as entertaining as anyone. They had Wayne Newton. Everything's on our YouTube page. I'm uploading things as fast as I can get it there, and in our audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds. And of course, the great Dan Marino, or if you were watching Hard Knocks, Uncle Dan was joining the morning huddle this morning with Rob Thompson and RJ Ochoa, and just some good stuff from all of them. But I want to start before we run out of too much time talking about the trade deadline, as the Spurs did something. It wasn't nothing, it was something. And of the people that could have got moved, I thought Doug McDermott made the most sense, in my opinion, just because Chetty Osman gets a lot of playing time. So I think there's a role for him on this team moving forward. Doug McDermott's going to get a chance to go play for a playoff contender, and you get future picks. So you don't lose him for nothing at the end of the year when he's a free agent. So I'm okay with that. The fact that nobody else on the roster got moved, you couldn't find a way to bring someone else in. The off season's going to be very important for the San Antonio Spurs, in my opinion, because between the cap space and between the draft capital that they're going to own, you have to go get somebody to pair with Victor Wembanyama. You have to find a way to improve the depth of this roster that has none. And at this point, if it means packaging Devin, Keldon, anybody left of Victor Wembanyama, I don't care. Go make it happen. I'll get back on the Laurie marketing train if I have to, but I am pro do something. And I would like to see how this plays out this summer because that's what we're waiting for now. Trade deadline's come and gone. That was kind of the first signpost of this lost season, what it feels like. The next signpost is going to be the draft lottery. And after the draft lottery comes, what do you do with your picks as you go towards the draft and then free agency after that? That's all of it. You have to figure it out because there needs to be more veterans on this team, in my opinion. That's something that it desperately, desperately misses. Goldfinger123 is asking Rex Ryan, any thoughts? Yeah. Look, I could totally see Rex Ryan. He's been a fantastic defensive coordinator everywhere he's gone. So you bring him in to run strictly the defense the way Dan Quinn did. I believe that defense would be tougher, more physical, different. And the Cowboys would have a chance to be really, really good. And McCarthy could get an extension and Dak could get an extension and everybody's happy at the end of the year. Marquand Manuel is another guy that they brought in for a visit today for their corner. He's a young up and coming. I would like to see, if not Rex Ryan, of the retread names, Rex Ryan's the one I would want if I am a Cowboy fan. If not Rex Ryan, I want the up and coming Marquand Manuel. He just feels like a hot name that is trending in the right direction, that has done great things at different stops. And I would like to see him get another chance. That would be my two top options if I was a Cowboys fan and I wanted to bring in coach, coordinators, et cetera, et cetera. You remember I was very high on DeMeco Ryans out of all the candidates, including Sean Payton, and I was very high that DeMeco Ryans bring Bobby Slowick with him from the Kyle Shanahan tree, his passing game coordinator at the time in San Francisco. Both of those worked out pretty well. I think Ben Johnson could become a very good head coach, but to me, there's a vibe with coaches. Rex Ryan has that vibe, especially for a coordinator. And it'll be easy for him to just be the head coach of that side of the ball while Mike McCarthy is the head coach of the offensive side of the ball, and they meet in the middle, and McCarthy has final say being the quote unquote head coach. And it'd be a big enough splash play to satiate Jerry and wanting to grab headlines and do things like that. Don't get me wrong. I love Rex on TV. I think Rex is phenomenal on ESPN, on Get Up, on Countdown, on NFL Live. I think he's fantastic at what he does, but he's also a fantastic defensive coordinator. He was a great head coach with the Jets for a while. Has the game passed him by? I don't think so. I've heard from enough people that work with him that he is very forward thinking and not an old stuck in his ways type coordinator. But what say you? 656 ESPN 210-656-3776, or hit me up in the comments sections. But coming up next, that fantastic interview earlier this afternoon with Mark Schlereth about the state of offensive line play callers versus offensive callers, and the Dallas Cowboys and their offensive line and how you help them out without necessarily having to go overboard, putting resources into it. That's Mark Schlereth. He was absolutely phenomenal. A 3-time Super Bowl champion with 2 different teams, former ESPN analyst, now doing radio in Denver. Mark Schlereth earlier, and you're going to hear it here next, right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The Sports Star Boys are in Vegas for the big game.
Remember, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Robin, RJ, and Jason and Joe are in Sin City and Radio Row for the big game, with security provided by AA Best Bail Bonds.
Let's go to Vegas. We'll all get drunk and
Yeah!
Woo!
Think you gonna get away with it? Not up in here!
Not up in here.
Powered by AA Best Bail Bonds, Synergen X, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
What's he talking about here? He's talking about Asian.
It wasn't me that started that old crazy Asian war.
I mean, isn't that racist?
No, I think it was a crazy Asian war, was it not?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't Oriental.
What would make it Oriental?
If they fried it with bell pepper and pineapple and added sweet and sour sauce, that would make it Oriental.
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Progressive asks, what do an escaped leopard,
We're live from the zoo where a leopard has escaped,
a growling stomach, an uneaten tuna sandwich, and a backdoor doggy door have in common? They can lead to an unexpected kitchen renovation.
Yeah, hi. Is this the zoo? Your leopard is in my kitchen.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax, 100% natural male enhancement formulas, only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund is belong to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Save up to 80% when you file with TaxSlayer. Start for free.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I lock up my Old Spice Fiji aluminum-free dry spray to keep that 24/7 lasting freshness safe for myself. Fresh coconuts, palm trees in the wind. It's like catching waves in Fiji. Actually, I just talked myself into a refreshing spritz of Fiji. My Old Spice is missing! No!
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. Coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Joe Reinagle.
That's the third time in 7 seasons
The San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix in Vegas for Radio Row, our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage brought to you by Synergenics and Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds. Always fun catching up with Mark Schlereth, joining Joe Reinagle, me, Jason Minix. Man, Mark's, what's been fun is your booth for your show in Denver is literally right behind us.
Yes.
The innovation that you guys have is incredible.
Really? Just my little hot shot? That's it. Well, like I just came out here on my own, and I was busting the proverbial balls of our station folks because I was like I've had 3 or 4, 5 friends, guys that played in the league, guys that have come down, sit down, like, hey, want me to hop on? I go, I don't even have an extra mic. No, I don't. Like we'd have to be like conjoined twins. I'd have to, stick you in my headphone there with me. So yeah, we got nothing.
I love the tripod that you made out of coffee cups upside down to hold the phone.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's my man 101. I'm like MacGyver over here, just making crap go. So, of course, part of that is because I walk out of the garage. I can't remember where I walked out there, so I forgot to bring my tripod with me. So I was like, oh shoot,
that happens to all of us.
Right? Yeah, gonna have to get innovative.
Yeah. Well, how do you like this radio thing?
Oh, it's great. I mean, have you ever seen a collection, a bigger collection of fat, unathletic white people in one place in your entire life? I haven't.
Is he talking about us?
Yeah, radio people, not the athletes walking around.
Right? No, not the athletes, just the general radio people.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
Mark, we're Cowboys country. Down in San Antonio.
Well, God bless you guys.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
Right. You know what I said about them in September in my Stinking Truth podcast? I go, they're going to be great. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to take a dump in their helmets when the playoffs come around. And you know what? Sure enough, that's exactly what happened.
I'd like to give you a lot of credit for foresight, but we've got 28 years of the same thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
It's either they're going to the Super Bowl or they're going to crap out in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? I mean, I always say this, and I mean it. Like, it's one thing to hire a coach. It's another thing to empower a coach. And organizational structure has to be right. We always used to joke around, hey, owners own, they cut checks, players play, and, and coaches coach. And, when your owner's doing biweekly radio shows and a backup quarterback that was a former first-round, third pick overall shows up in your locker room and the head coach doesn't know about it, that's a problem. It's a huge problem. And I know, hey, listen, man, I was a player. We're children. Like, we are children. And if I know, like I always say, there's two types of fear that are imperative in an NFL locker room. There is one fear, the fear of the Lord, right? Which is, biblically speaking, fear of the Lord, it means awesome reverence and respect. You got to have reverence and respect for the guy who's coaching you. 2 is straight up fear. That dude will cut my ass in a heartbeat if I don't play. Like Mike Shanahan would cut me in a heartbeat, and in the same sentence, like, hey, by the way, you're not playing well enough. You're done. But you want to come over to my house for pizza? Like that's the way it would have been. I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll get a piece. I'll get a slice. Right? I mean, it's just the way it works, and you have to have those two. That dynamic has got to be part of your locker room. You've got to know the guy who's coaching you ultimately can cut you without even thinking about it, and have no repercussions for doing it. And if your organization is not structured that way, I am sorry, we are children. We will take advantage of it as players, and it's never going to work.
And when it comes to the Cowboys this year, you've got Mike McCarthy, last year of his contract, lame duck coach, if you will. Does that make the situation worse?
Yeah, I think that ultimately, he's not truly in charge, and ultimately, I mean, he is, but he's not. We always used to joke around in my former, not the Broncos, the team formerly known as the Redskins. I mean, if you got a back staircase up to the owner's office, it's just organizationally speaking, it just makes it really tough. And they've got great players, man. The Dallas Cowboys have they're just an unbelievably talented team. And if you put their talent against anybody's talent in the league, they're a top 5 talent team. And there's no question in my mind they're a top 5 talent team. but like talent's wasted on talented people. I'd rather have. I've created my own. I haven't even said this. I created my own, and I'm not an analytics guy. Like Math has never made a tackle, it's never blocked anybody. I think most of it's crap, but I created my own advanced analytic. I call it BOO, or the boost scale. That's balls over opponent. Your balls have to be bigger than your opponent's balls. Talent-wise, they got talent over a lot of opponents. Balls, I'm not so sure.
There you go. Mark Schlereth, 3-time Super Bowl champion here on the Blitz. Cowboys offensive line at one point was the best in football. Not close to it now. When you look at their offensive line play, and like Terrence Steele's a kid from San Antonio, kind of a surprise that he got to the Cowboys, made the improvement, got a big contract. Tyler Biotish, they got to figure out at center. Tyron Smith, it's not if he gets hurt, it's when and how many games is he going to miss. How good is the Cowboys offensive line in your mind right now, and is that an area they need to address this offseason?
Well, that's an area you always need to be developing guys, and it's really hard to develop guys in today's NFL because we don't practice anymore. Like I always say that's the most skilled position in football, bar none. Moving a man from point A to point B against his will is the greatest skill you can have. And collectively, we're as a group, we are the worst athletes on the football field. Right? Now think about this. Think about any position in professional sports. Okay, I'll give you anything. Show me where unlike athletes match up against each other, and the athlete who's the worst athlete is expected to win 100% of the battles. And if he gives up one sack, he's a piece of garbage, and the guy that gets the sack goes to the Pro Bowl. You show me one other where, like, if you're a safety and you line up against the tight end, you're like athletes. You're a corner, you line up against a wide receiver, you're like athletes. I'm a offensive tackle, and I'm lining up against Michael Parsons. Those are two different animals, right? And think about, like, I've seen corners transition to safety, safeties transition to linebacker, linebackers transition to DNs, DNs transition to D tackles, D tackles transition to offensive linemen. Offensive linemen, the transition is fan. You don't go anywhere else. That's the last rung on the ladder. You go from O lineman to fan. And so there is an unbelievable skill in blocking people that are better athletes than you, a technique that is absolutely unmatched in football. I can take a ball and throw it to anybody in here, and they could catch it and throw it back to me. If we did a one-on-one right here, I'd whip everybody's ass. And so there's a skill involved in that, and I don't think people understand how important that skill is and how difficult that skill is. So I'm always for taking offensive linemen, always for developing those guys. And ultimately, like we sit here and criticize offensive lines, but I'm going to tell you this right now. You give up 5 sacks or 6 sacks in a game, your O-line doesn't suck as bad as your play caller sucks. It is imperative that you as a play caller understand the problems that we have up front, and that you as a play caller give us an opportunity to have tools in our tool belt to change things up. So, for instance, if we're going to throw it 35 times, I need to whittle that number down to about 12 times where I have to hold up. Meaning, okay, we're going to have 5 kind of bubble screens, right? 5 swing passes. Now I'm down to 25 plays. Now I need 5 3-step drops, quick game, right? Now I'm down to 20 plays. Now I need 5 5-step drops that don't have a hitch, right? I know the ball's out right now, so I can up kick and attack the protection in a 5-step drop. Now I'm down to 15. Do I have a couple of other screen passes in there? Now I'm down to 12 plays. Now 12 plays, if I can't hold up, then I suck, right? But if you give me enough of a change-up, if you give me enough of a chance to be the aggressor, what I always talk about when I'm consulting with teams is, how do we take the passive out of pass protection? How can I be the aggressor? If you just sit back and let me bleed, I'm going to give up plays, and not give up like I'm not going to quit, but I'm going to give up big plays. And so you as a play caller, if you don't understand the difficulty we have up front, then you suck. And we need a different play caller.
Well, it's interesting. How do you not be passive if you're blocking for the quarterback? Because how do you be aggressive?
Well, you give me an opportunity to attack. You give me an opportunity to run. a couple of screens. Give me an opportunity to run that quick game. Like I can come off. So if you and I are going against each other, right? And you beat me clean, and we're in like let's say
that
we're
probably would happen,
right.
Mark. I don't know.
Let's just talk about we're in a 5-step drop or something, right? And you beat me clean, and I barely disrupt you at all. It still takes you 1.7 seconds to get to the quarterback. Okay? So if all of a sudden I'm coming off the ball in a rumble, and you got to defend the run, and then you're like, oh, shoot, it's not a run. They're throwing the ball. I just won. You're not going to get to my quarterback. Right. So you as a play caller have to give me the opportunity to change up my sets. Like I knew every drop and every timing of every route based on the route combination called. So I know if we run all go special, it's a 5-step drop, but I know the ball's out. So now I can run block on a 5-step drop. Well, all of a sudden I'm run blocking you and you're like, what the hell? And the quarterback's taking a 5-step drop and it's a deep drop. Like you're like, what? Like now you're second guessing yourself as a defensive lineman. So you give me the opportunity to take, like I said, the passive out of pass protection with the way in which you call plays. Now I've got you on skates as opposed to the other way around. But that's how play calling. When you get a great play call, like there's guys who call plays. I'll change that up. There's guys who call plays. There are guys who call an offense. I need a guy who calls an offense, not a plays. Right, and gives me that opportunity to be successful. And when you have those type of guys as play callers, guys who call the offense, that's what I think Kyle Shanahan is the best in football at doing that.
Interesting.
It is interesting. Mark Schlereth joining us here on the Blitz as you say that. But like Mike McCarthy, do you think he's a guy calling plays or a play caller versus Kellen Moore, who I felt like was always trying to call plays to get a lot of yards and go score?
Yeah, I think McCarthy is a guy who's calling an offense and has an understanding of that. I think, ultimately for a guy like Kellen Moore, right, how do you become a head coach? You, by developing quarterback and making big plays on the offensive side of the ball. Like that stuff is like, that's Viagra to 80-year-old owners. Like they can't get enough of that stuff, right? So, so that's endemic, and that's part of the issue with how the league operates. Like you don't want to, as a play caller, to have to run the ball and to be boring and to churn those 5-yard gain. And like that for a lot of those guys that consider themselves innovators, that's boring. And they don't want to be that. But ultimately,
like McDaniel in Miami,
there are, like, I will tell you right now that there are things that win in the National Football League. And one thing that will never go in and out of style, if you control line of scrimmage, you just control line of scrimmage, you win. I don't care who your quarterback is. I don't care who anybody, like, you control line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively, you win. And that's probably at about an 85% clip. Show me the team. You're like, I don't look at a lot of stats. Show me the team that has the most attempts in the running game. I'll show you the team that wins 85% of the games.
Wow.
You can look it up. Go through it. Go through any game, and I'll show me, and I'll show you the team that wins.
It's going to be interesting.
Why do you think then running backs are like off to the side now? Nobody wants to pay them, and nobody thinks they have to.
Well, they don't, because it's the easiest position to transition from college. It's the one position where if you've got great eyes and great feel, you can be successful. And, you got a guy playing in the Super Bowl, Isaiah Pacheco, who's outstanding, who's a 7th rounder. And then you kick them to the curb when they get beat up. You don't care. I mean, they're disposable. And so, I always found it funny when the running backs were complaining and, we're being devalued and, we're going to stand up. The running backs are going to stand up. Where were you guys when they were excommunicating fullbacks, right? The guys your running mates in the back. You didn't say jack diddly when that was happening, did you? So what I have no sympathy for those guys. Like that's what happens. It's position you play. They're going to use you up and they're going to spit you out, and that's just the way it works.
Mark Schlereth joining the Blitz earlier today, live from Media Row, RAA Best Bail Bonds, big game coverage, live from Las Vegas, presented in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics. Look, if you're looking for a place to get out and watch the game, I suggest come join me. I'm going to be out probably 12-2, definitely. I'm going to be out at the Twin Peaks at Park North. I'm going to be giving away Machine Head tickets. There's going to be free football squares involved when you walk in. So I will walk out to Twin Peaks 12-2, the one Park North on 410 and Blanco. I'll be there 12-2 as we get you ready for the big game. But coming up next, is it a mistake that the Dallas Cowboys haven't even, to our knowledge, considered a name? We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Spring Golf Classic is set Monday, March 25th at Golf Club of Texas with plenty of prizes, including a shot at $50,000 in a trip to the big game. Go to sasportstar.com and get signed up. A 4-person scramble, $120 per player to join, or a group of 4 can sign up together for $400. It's the San Antonio Spring Golf Classic, benefiting the Will Smith Foundation. Monday, March 25th, presented by Flight by Yingling and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Attention all homeowners, do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass? Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just call 800-NEW-WINDOWS for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS right now. Don't wait. Call 800-NEW-WINDOWS. 800-NEW-WINDOWS.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save on bulk purchases of select insulation from trusted brands like Green Fiber. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Visit us for the materials you need, because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store at lowes.com/credit for details. U.S. only.
Tax day is coming.
Oh, no.
But if you sign up for Robinhood Gold's IRA with a 3% match, you can get up to $195 for the 2023 tax year.
Oh, yeah.
Sign up at Robinhood.com/boost by tax day to get the biggest contribution match on the market. Subscription fees apply.
Investing involves risk. 3% match requires gold for 1 year from first match. Must keep IRA for 5 years. Robinhood Financial, LLC, member SIPC.
Creed. Are You Ready Tour with very special guests, 3 Doors Down and Nemeth WVH. Friday, November 15th at Moody Center. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Creed with 3 Doors Down and Nemeth WVH on the Are You Ready Tour.
Most of us go to the doctor when we're sick or need prescriptions refilled. But at the Institute for Functional Health, we offer a different and complete version of primary care. This means you will get the medications you need, but we will also put together a custom game plan to fix the root cause and allow your body to heal itself. I'm Dr. Torres at the Institute for Functional Health, and we help people get off of medications. Call me for a free consultation, 468-1891, or online at iffhealth.com. You will experience a doctor's visit unlike any you've ever had. 468-1891.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. In your car, at work, or with your kids, no matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate everybody for joining. AD asked me to play the Wayne Newton interview again. He missed it earlier. In the comment section, I dropped a link. That is a video with the actual video of Wayne Newton joining the Blitz earlier today. It is on our YouTube page. You could also just go to the YouTube SA Sports Star homepage, click on the playlist. There is a 2024 big game coverage playlist, and it has every single one of our interviews from Radio Row with the guests that you may have missed, or if they were taped earlier in the day, because, you know, Blitz guys get there at 4, not a lot of interviews walking around at 4 in the morning. Some are pre-taped and played back during the show. If you want to see the actual video with the players sitting down with them, like Dan Marino earlier, or Matt Ryan, or Jalen Hyatt, Dahani Jones, it's all in that playlist. Just go to SA Sports Star on YouTube, click the playlist. You'll see the 2024 big game playlist there. Every single one of our interviews, including Wayne Newton, is sitting there right now waiting for you. And I am doing my best to, the last one I need to get up today, it looks like, is Bruce Smith. And I hope to have that one up here within the next hour or two. But if you want me to play the audio, I can do that too. I can kill another 8 minutes of my show playing back something if you'd like. But I put it right there in the comment section if you want it. Biomech says, where's the van? It's a good question. I don't know. But I understand the way they explained it this morning, how they could have misplaced the van. If they were in a completely separate, roped off parking area that was employee parking, coming through a completely separate entrance, then going out into a regular parking garage. I get it. Doesn't make it any less funny, but I get it. I don't think I've ever lost my car for an hour and a half. I don't think that's been a thing. That's crazy to hear about something like that. But man, what a day they've had. It's been, just to let you know kind of what things have been like for Radio Row. Here in just a second. Hang on the line right there. I see you calling in. Lee Steinberg, Kellen Winslow, Andrew Zimmern, Steve Largent, Neil Smith, Warren Sapp, Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard on the Blitz today. Usually Tony Pollard just doesn't give you a whole lot. And it is what it is. Tony was open today, so it was kind of nice. Kayvon Thibodeau, Jordan Fuller, Bruce Smith, Rolando Cantu, Miguel Gurwitz, Mark Schlereth, who we just finished playing. Brian Baldinger was phenomenal earlier today. Jamal Lewis, like it's been a great day. And tomorrow, Emmett Smith, Brandon Cook, Stephon Gilmore. It's going to be a good day to close out Radio Row on the Blitz as well. And remember, our big game coverage, AA Best Bail Bonds, brings it to you each and every year. They're the title sponsor of the entire thing on our way out there, and it is also brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds and Synergenics, and we appreciate them for getting us out to bring you the best possible coverage that we can. As he's going into break, is there a candidate that ignored seemingly in terms of bringing in as defensive coordinator. It was asked earlier in the chat by Goldfinger 123. He said, "Do you think Mike McCarthy has blocked the idea of Vrabel as defensive coordinator? There's a rumor that he was interested in the defensive coordinator gig here." If that is true, and Mike McCarthy is blocking it because he has some perception or fear that he's going to take his job, then Mike McCarthy deserves to be fired. You shouldn't have a fear of somebody coming in and doing a good job taking your job, because every hand washes each other in a coaching staff. A head coach with a good offensive coordinator makes the offense better. He's not scared that the offensive coordinator is going to take his job. It just makes the team better, which makes the coach look better. A team with a great defense to help the offense that was very, very good this year would only stand to make that team better. And if the team performs even better, that means that Mike McCarthy would get an extension, Dak Prescott would get an extension, and everybody would be better because of it. Now, the one con that could possibly be in all of this in terms of Mike Vrabel, did he call the defense in Tennessee? He was a linebackers coach with the Houston Texans. He was a defensive coordinator for one season in Houston under Bill O'Brien. During that season, they had one of the worst defenses that they'd ever had. He got the head coaching job. He may not just be a very good defensive play caller, but a great head coach and a great teacher and not so much a play caller as he is just a teacher. That could be the case with Mike Vrabel. That could be the negative to that. But we won't know because the Cowboys, to our knowledge, haven't even interviewed him to find out if that's the case. But if it's to Goldfinger's point in his question, if Mike McCarthy is blocking that interview because he is scared somebody's going to take his job, he should lose his job. You should not have a fear of somebody great on your staff taking your job, because somebody great on your staff only makes the team better, which in part only makes you look better. And if that's your way of thinking about things, then you have no right being in that spot. You think Mike McCarthy was worried that Dan Quinn was going to take his job? No. Dan Quinn performed well those first 2-3 years even, which is why he was such a sought-after candidate as a head coach in the last 2 coaching cycles and was hired in this coaching cycle. It wasn't about Dan Quinn taking his job. It was about Dan Quinn making the team as good as it could possibly be. As a head coach, that's how you look at things. I surround myself with the best possible talent, and I surround myself with the best possible coaches. And that gives me the best possible product on the field. It's like a quarterback who doesn't want competition. Do you want a quarterback who doesn't want competition behind him that he has to fight off? Do you? Do you want a guy that's scared of competition? No. And I don't think Mike McCarthy blocked it. I don't know how great Mike Vrabel is as an actual defensive coordinator outside of actually being on the, coaching staff. 656 ESPN 656-3776. One fun thing that happened that fell through the crack, the bigness of Media Row, was Micah Parsons chirping at David Njoku during the Pro Bowl games, the Madden competition, and David Njoku and Tyreek Hill clapping right back at Micah Parsons.
Micah, how do you think he did in the first
I
half?
thought he did amazing. He made great adjustments. He obviously showed why Cleveland is Cleveland. And That's a crazy shot.
Don't give us that political. David, you have an opportunity for a rebuttal here. Obviously, that first half didn't go the way you wanted.
It's cool. It's cool.
Okay.
You understand one thing, and excuse my voice, it's gone. When the losses come with big bosses, one thing you got to understand is he said Cleveland to Cleveland, but we're both here. I mean, we're both playing this Madden game.
I think that's a shot.
So you got to make it make sense.
Any person who's reenacting Meek Mill lyrics is like, I can't take him serious. I mean, but am I lying though? No, you trying to be lyrical, but don't
not
even get
lyrical.
lyrics.
I'm saying we're both fitting.
Lyrically, I'm supposed to represent.
He has a good point, bro. We all here.
So what are you saying, Cleveland?
Well, okay, fair enough. Well, let's take it.
Cleveland is Dallas. David Njoku was having none of it, and Tyreek Hill was like, bro, he's got a point. We're all sitting here. And let's face it, Dallas had the most embarrassing of the playoff exits in the first round. Micah, your talk went sideways fast. Sometimes Mike's and Micah just don't get along. What say you, 656 ESPN, 210-656-3776. Usually in on the YouTube channel. Now on the phone lines, Tony, the Biomex. Welcome to Extra Innings with Pleasure, my man. Tony.
Can you hear me?
I got you, my man. What's up?
What's up, Pledge? This is the Biomax Tony. So the team's been doing a fabulous job out there in Vegas. We've been loving all of these interviews. Wonder if there's any chance to get a spotting or interview with J.J. Watt, maybe?
I guarantee you, if J.J. Watt becomes available to them, they will try and get him. There is no doubt about it in my mind, buddy. Trust me, if the opportunity presents itself, they will jump at it because Cowboy or not, that would be one of the biggest gets on Radio Row.
Especially with all the stuff he was talking about with Pat McAfee that was teasing us whether he was coming back. But also, I know the morning boys, the first couple of days out there, they were talking about this bingo card. What's the status of that? Are they going to share with us what their status of that is and who's winning that?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to ask them to show their work on that and see if we can get that all taken care of and figured out. I appreciate the phone call, Tony. Biomex, you're welcome in here anytime, my friend.
And we love your show. Thanks, Pledge. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. Oh, man, speaking of the Texans, should they make a huge move this offseason and really hammer home what was one of the weak points of their team this past season? I'll discuss coming up next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
UTIs are the worst, and they always seem to show up at the worst times.
My romantic getaway? Not so romantic.
If you get UTIs, then you need to try Eucora. Don't let another UTI get in the way of your life. Eucora makes UTI relief products. They also make effective urinary health supplements backed by science.
Now I have peace of mind with Eucora.
Get relief and get ahead with Eucora. Try today at eucora.com/radio. UQORA.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
COVID-19? I don't want to risk missing work. I booked an appointment for this season's updated COVID-19 shot designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn about a vaccine option and book your COVID-19 shot on schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to Careers online today.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-5407. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-5407. That's 800-575-5407. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or a this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, what a week it's been. What a day it's been. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, and on our YouTube page at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, comment along. Thanks to everyone who chimed in today. Thanks for everybody who called in today. I'll leave you with this. The Houston Texans got a ton of cap space, got a ton of arrow pointing up, ton of free agents that they will have to re-sign, though. Like, most importantly, probably Jonathan Grenard and Dalton Schultz. But should they splurge big on the one part of the team that was probably most overlooked this past season? That part of the team being the running back position. While Motor was great, Devin Singletary performed well. Should you splurge the 3 years and the money it would take to get a Saquon Barkley if the Giants don't tag him? And that's the only one I would do it for. I don't think I'd do it for Josh Jacobs. I'd do it for Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has Christian McCaffrey-esque qualities to him. And I think his ability to possibly bring that dynamic to the Texans offense for Bobby Slowick could vault that offense to another level. Man, that is what I will keep an eye on as the franchise tag deadline comes up here later this month. But I appreciate everybody for rolling with me. What do you think about it? Should the Texans be all in on Saquon Barkley to help the offense and CJ Stroud this next upcoming season? Let me know. Tweet at me at IamPleasure, or just get at me in the comments. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. I'll see y'all tomorrow as we wrap up this long week out at our AA Best Bail Bonds Radio Row coverage of the big game presented by Synergenics. small batch pork rinds.
John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I still get PMS. You know what I mean? So
Why
I
don't
don't
you get
know.
a hysterectomy? California,
Actually,
they
I've had
pay
a
for
partial
everything.
hysterectomy, smart ass.
Why didn't you get a
But
full?
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't just gut me.
When they gut you, like a fish, do you age out quicker? Does that estrogen keep you a little younger?
Do you flop around on the dock?
The John Clay Wolf Show, every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here.